Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by for another Screwy Tuesday. You know my name's Chuck and the channel's Outside Screwball. I think I have a little bit of interesting machining tonight. For the Monarch here, I'm redoing the fingers on the steady rest. It's going to be a two-part. I won't finish it all today for you in this video, but it'll be part one. And the second item that'll be in here is I received a gift from a couple of YouTube friends, and we'll start off with that, and then we'll move on to the machining portion of the video. Again, appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoyed, and probably try to get part two out before next Screwy Tuesday. Again, thanks for stopping by. Hey guys. It's Friday evening, and I got a package in the mail from Pierre and Phil, and I just want to say they sent me an awesome gift. And here's their stickers, their YouTube stickers. They have great channels. They do great work. Super people. I did get to meet Pierre at the bash. And I was fortunate enough that Pierre, in his California tour, he and his wife Danielle decided to stop and see us here at our house. We had a great evening that night, and dinner, and just super conversation and friendship, and we forgot to even take any pictures that night. We were just having such a good time. And so I got more than stickers from these guys, from both Phil and Pierre. If you've noticed, or you've probably seen on Fenner's channel, they built hammers for the toolbox giveaway, and they ended up sending me one from my shop. And it's one of the prized possessions, I gotta say. To have something built for you from some friends is just awesome. And I'm hoping to look forward to seeing Pierre again this year at the bash, and also get to meet Phil. He's talking about coming to the bash. Be great. Of course, I see him every morning. I watch YouTubes every morning, and I check all the channels, so I get to visit with my buddies. But let me pull back here a little bit, and we'll take a look at what they sent me. What I got from the guys is one of their hammers with the replaceable tips on them. They unscrew. They have an O-ring in there for it to seat on. I think you guys can see that. The fit and finish is just beautiful. The handle, it just registers right in your hand. It's just awesome. They and then they've, besides the Delrin and the brass, we have a stainless steel, we have an aluminum, and could be Teflon or nylon. And there's an open space, and awesome. I got a big old chunk of copper, so I may make a copper slug for there. But I'm just taken away. It's just too nice of a gift from good friends, and I really appreciate it. So in the note that I received from Phil and Pierre, it said one of the mandates of accepting this gift is that you need to show the first dings online. It's a tool. It's not a prize. It's not a possession. It's not something to go hang on the wall. It's a tool. So they want to see the first ding in the tool online, on live on YouTube. So let me get set up, and we'll go and give it a test. Well, Pierre and Phil wanted me to give this guy a test right on film, so let's give it a whack right here on the vise, see how she does. Oh my God. Hey guys, what the hell? 2 whacks and it broke apart. Oh my goodness. Okay, my bad. I had to play with Phil and Pierre. I made a quick Delrin, split it, and then glued it back together so it would break on the first or second hit. It took 2 hits to pop it. Sorry guys, but I just couldn't help it. With that said, it's a beautiful hammer, and I gotta thank you so much. And okay, he wants a real ding on it in the first shot. Here we go. This is the real thing. We'll go for 2. We'll go Delrin and we'll go brass. We'll mess them both up right on the edge. There you go. It's christened. Both sides. Look at that. As soon as I shut the camera off, I'm taking it back over to the lathe and cleaning them up. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Pierre. You're great buddies. Just to finish up on Phil and Pierre's hammer, as you can see, it's found a position in my hammer rack here in my shop, and then the additional attachments basically put some magnets on the back, and it's right there with the hammers. So it's found a home, and just loving it. Just finishing up on hammers. I went to the flea market the other day and bought a couple of items. This is a Proto 1312 ball peen, and I don't know if it'll show up, but if that face has 20 hits on it, I'd be probably counting too many. I cleaned it up a little bit from what it looked like when I purchased it, but I paid a whopping $2 for that guy, and it's in really nice shape. Other than this, they got some paint on it somehow, whatever that is. But the other cool item I picked up, I think I'll get it here in screen, is a hacksaw. I've been looking for one of these every time I go to the flea market, either the square top. This one has the drop nose, which is really kind of nice, and it has the tensioning. So I've been, ever since Lipton showed his 3 of them, and you got to have each blade, he's made me crazy, and I've been looking for getting some more. I do have a snap-on version of this, my one and only, with the hand crank on it. So anyway, I picked up this Lennox, and that was a whopping $8, which was a sweet buy. So my $10 deal at the flea market the other day. So now we're going to move on to the discussion of this guy right here. This is the steady rest off my Monarch 10ee, and as you can see, one of the fingers is actually missing out of the unit. And this, I pulled it out, and here's the finger right here. And as you can see, someone in the past has actually put a large radius in here, and with that, it allowed someone to turn a large round in the steady rest. Typically, I'm going to be doing something smaller, and I need the tips of these to be normal. Normal. What's normal? Here, let me click to a photo. So that's what I mean by normal, how those fingers look. But these are made out of brass or bronze, and I don't have the material here, and I'm actually thinking of putting a roller on it instead. So I've actually done a little doodling here on the whiteboard, and we'll go up and take a look. And the top version there was trying to use a regular ball bearing, and the second version here is using a cam follower. And come back down here and set you down. So originally, when I was thinking about using a bearing, I was going to have to build a pad so that the bearing would be higher than this guy right here, so I can get the bearing as far back as I can to get the most opening in the steady rest. And subsequent to that, I think I'm going to go ahead and use a small cam follower instead, make new fingers, and the cam follower will be installed right here at the edge. I'm going to make these out of aluminum. They're not going to get that much use here in my shop. I've got the aluminum. There's a nice bar of aluminum, and you can see I just penciled out where the 3 fingers are probably in there. Pull them out of that bar, and probably I'm not going to worry about how they did a square end on here. I mean, a round end mill can go right in there and leave a round relief, and it's not going to hurt anything. So going to try to get started on this and do a little machining. I think it'll be a fun project, and it'll generally enhance this guy. I did build rollers for my clawsing, and we'll flip to a photo of those also, just to show you. So there's the steady rest off of my clawsing, and you can see the fingers there that have the bearings in the ends of the fingers. This is the stock finger that came in it, that has the brass rounds at the end of it, and I went ahead and made new fingers for the clawsing and put the bearings in it, and it works really well. Okay, let's get some fingers out of this bar. Bozo just got me. My aluminum blade just kissed an insert. I didn't catch that there was an insert in there. Arr. So I got the word mill here, so after I cut it off, I'll mill it so I end up with a straight cut for the next one. Let's get things set up in the mill here. Got a small parallel in the back. Let's get some light. Get a cutter. Alright, a little tight on this last cut here, so set the height gauge to 1 inch, and we'll give ourselves a racetrack to saw between, so I don't pull another bozo. So there we go. As long as I make it down there, don't touch those two lines, I'll still have product. I've got to show you the nice tool Bruce Whittam gave me. So I've already milled the surface off, and I got to get to my 1-inch height. So I can set this guy right here. I think you're in. Press 0 to zero out my caliper. Set it on here. Go down to my parallel. And it gives me my depth of cut. And something's wrong. Let's try that again. Zero. There it is. 62.5. Let's call it 63. Sweet. That'll take me to 1 inch. Okay, we'll pull off 60 thousandths and then get the last 3 thou. Okay, let's take this one apart. There's a little pin right here, so we'll take a pin punch and knock that out, and then we can get some dimensions on this guy. So should be able to line it up. Yeah, I like that. Well, maybe we're not going to be able to use the bench block here. There we go. I had to pick one that actually has a bent screw in it. Maybe we'll fix that while we got it apart. So you can see there's the radius that holds the adjuster in place, and there's the pin. Don't want to lose those. Pull this guy out. And we'll measure this guy up and see what we actually got, and check the hole and locate this pin. Let's grab a set of parallels. Boy, is that son of a gun tight. Looks good. What's the calipers say? Who took the calipers? Alright, nobody move. Nobody, oh, there they are. Right there in front of me. 498. So I think we can get away with ½ inch on that. I don't think we have to hit 498. Okay, and let's check this hole right here. So over here at the gauge pins, and let's see what we have for the larger hole. Let's go 375 maybe. Looks like we either got two different diameters or it's worn. Probably worn. I'll have to check the actual part that goes in here. So we got 388 there. And 375 on the inside and 388 on the outside. It's probably 375 and it's just worn. But we'll check that other part. So we need those two gauge pins. Let's see what the smaller hole is. There it is, 187. Yep, 187. So the pin mic's 187.5. And we got a 187 pin, so that's what we got to do that hole as. And in looking at this, it's just worn. So this guy mics out at 374, and we got a 375 pin in the hole there. So that's the that's what we'll shoot for on this guy right here. The 375 should be fine. So we'll get the location measurement. This guy's centered. Find this guy, and we'll put it in the mill and get it working. Okay, locating this hole here. This is where a unimic comes in handy. So there's the gauge pin. Slide the gauge pin in the hole, and then run the mic up to the side, and let's take a read. I got 222, let's call it 222.5. So 0.2225, enter. Let's see, let's do it different than that. We want to take half the gauge pin, so 0.187, enter, 2 divide, change sides, and then 0.2225 plus. So we have an offset of 3.16. And we just do the same thing for the other one, and then we have our hole located from this corner, or from these sides. Nice little tool. So here's the manual for the Monarch, and there's a diagram of the steady rest. And looking at the fingers here, and I'm sorry for the handheld, but you can see the angles. And putting a protractor on there, I've gone ahead and was going to use the protractor over here, but I did notice, even though this radius has been cut, the original flat is still there. So double checking it with the protractor, I marked some lines, and it basically shows me what the original finger would be. So with that said, I think that's going to be my goal, is to cut to right there, and then the cam follower will sit basically right there, and I'll drill and tap that into the finger, and with it at that position I still have some meat out front if I wanted to machine the finger, and then secondly, it won't hit on this guy as it comes forward. So I think I got a pretty good layout, and then I have it set up here. I got a transfer punch in that hole and a little tap, and that will give me my location on that when I go in the mill. Just a good double check. Also, okay, as I mentioned, my camera battery went dead on me, so let me catch you up to where I'm at now. So here's one of the fingers, and I've drilled and reamed the hole for the pin, and then I've gone ahead and got my start and stop point for making the slot. From there, here's another one where I've actually cut the slot, and if you recall, I said I wasn't going to square off the ends of the slot, as I really don't think I had a way to do it. Well, I squared off the end of the slot, and the reason I did that, so it matches this guy, is that I think I can show you. Let me grab it. Hang on. The adjusting bolt, when it is a radius, you can see the gap there, and the standard one, you can see that this piece actually does touch the end of the part. You still end up with a square. The outside of the circumference is bigger than the 1/2 inch, so on my round version I'm too far away still, but on my square version it's touching just like it's supposed to. So how did I cut that square? Well, I came up with this idea right here, and I'm sorry I didn't film it, but basically took a cutoff blade at my surface grinder and set this up so that I was cutting a 10-degree angle, and then I went back in and relieved the face here, and I've been broaching this, hopefully you can see that, just like that, using my smaller arbor press and just slowly picking away at it, and I end up with the square going through, and you can see the last part of the radius still in there, but that doesn't hurt anything. So anyway, didn't get to film any of that, didn't get to film the surface grinder action, but we're getting close to being able to put this thing together. Still have to finish the finger end side, but that kind of brings you up to date, and we'll see if we can finish it in this one video. It may have to go to a part 2. So here's a little shot of how I've been doing the broaching. You can see the chips that come out of there. I put the clamp behind it just to keep it perpendicular. It's a little bit tedious, but I get it done. See, there's the start of it right there. And just keep walking it in, getting it tighter and tighter. You can see the chips there as it's cutting it. Okay, won't bore you with any more of that, but that's how I'm getting it done. Okay, now I need to go ahead and drill and tap for the cam follower. So I need to do a counter bore first. So 250 thousandths deep counter bore. And we'll do all those while the drill is in there. This is actually a metric tap in M5. Oh, wrong way. Cam follower has clearance. So now I just need to go ahead and cut the end of the fingers on it, mill those. And then the last, the other object is I got to drill the hole here also, 3/8 hole. Okay, this is probably overkill on my setup, but what I'm looking to do is cut 30-degree angles on top of these fingers. So I've got an angle block in here, and then I wanted it so it was repeatable. So I have it set up. It's a nice tight fit, and then I'm securing it with a nut and washer. Who took my nut? Got it the right side up. And I decided to use the slitting saw rather than milling. And you know, there's probably a dozen ways to do this. But I wanted it secure, I wanted it repeatable, so I can go ahead and saw it and then flip it and get the other side. So let's fire it up and go. It's a good secure setup, definitely an overkill, but you know, I got the angle plates, I got the angle blocks. It's all about learning on setups, and this is a good teaching situation for myself for future jobs. Okay, 2 more sets to go and clean that up. So here's the setup I have to drill the 3/8 hole, drill and ream. So I've already got this point on here, so that guy's sitting down on the angle plate. I got the 1, 2, 3 blocks holding it square. This guy pinching against the 1, 2, 3 blocks, everything's in there, and a bolt holding the part. So nice secure setup, and again repeatable, and then have a stop over here so the angle plate remains in the same spot. I already used an edge finder to find center, and we're ready to go. and we'll ream for 3/8. So it should be a nice easy repeat. Oh. Get that up against the stop. Those guys are squared. Tighten the angle block for a second so we can get a little A-bomb torque on here. And ready to do next one.